Hey, I'm AKA AK, and this is Spoiler Warning. Welcome back or welcome. This is your first time being here. Today we're covering Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 3. Some stuff happens. I was not expecting that. So let's get into it. Spoilers ahead. We begin with just people at Gateway City, specifically a museum, watching what's happening, seeing that the Tetracide is there. They're seeing like watching on a TV in the museum, seeing what's happening, watching Diana face up against the Tetracide. She's flying in the air, and there's a specific lady with orange hair, or actually strawberry blonde hair, would be this if we're being specific, the actual term, but orange, whatever. Uh, Sees Diana and says Wonder Woman, which actually makes me realize this is the first time anybody in Absolute Wonder Woman has actually said like the name Wonder Woman, and I didn't realize that until now. The lady's name is Barbara. She rushes out to go find Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman faces off against the Tetracide. She tells Pegasus to fight from a distance using Hellfire because if Pegasus dies again, she doesn't believe Zeus will allow her to resurrect Pegasus again. She fights using a combination of her sword and lasso, trying to tie the Tetracide down. So basically, use a larger scale version of what she did on Harbinger Prime. Um, it's not as effective because the Tetracide has tentacles and it's a weird, eldritch looking creature. Um, she pulls, she loses her sword, so she pulls out a battle axe. I'm surprised. So absolutely, Batman could have been like, "That's my thing." um, so she has a battle axe she's using, and she's doing fine until one of the tentacles wraps around her arm, and so she's. Then we flash back to more of her time with Steve in Hell. So they're facing a Hydra. And Steve's actually using the battle axe that I assume Diana summoned for him. So they're using the battle axe. Diana gets home, is back home after the fight with the Hydra, and like they spend a moment at the campfire. She gets home and she's reading the book, and she finds a way to bring Steve back. She shows to Cersei, and Cersei's like, "No, it's too dangerous because it requires sacrifice, and you don't understand what that means." She's like, "Of course I understand what that means." Cersei wakes up to Diana being creepy because Diana's just sitting there, like there's a red glow on her. She's got a blanket covering her face, like a hood. And so she's like, "What's going on?" And then Diana figured out what type of sacrifice she could make. She was like, "A great warrior's arm should be sacrificed enough." And Diana has cut off her right arm, and I was not expecting that. Is in present day Gateway City, Diana used magic to release her arm, um, so it disappears, and she's able to return to the base. From her bag, she pulls out um, I was going to say robotic prosthesis, but it's just a prosthesis, just a regular prosthesis. Um, so Steve realizes that was the sacrifice she made to bring him back. She tells them to evacuate, and then she also says, "Here's I'm going to give you every piece of information you know about the Tetracide for when it kills me. So you guys will have a chance to fight." And even then, I was like, "Wait, when it kills you?" Like, oof, she's not confident because this thing is bad. So it's called the Tetracide because it kills in 4 ways. It's the death of sound, the death of fear, the death of no, the death of fear. Sorry, the death of fear, the death of the mind, the death of the body, the death of the soul. Um, and so, death of fear is it makes you unafraid and it lures you basically like a siren. It releases a sound that causes people to basically go frantic and charge toward to get as close as they can to the Tetracide. They pretty much walk into the creature's mouth and it gobbles them up. Uh, they show this with an illustration on ancient Greek pottery, which is really well done. It's like really cool. Um, After she explains that, she leaves. Steve's like, "Oh, I don't want to leave you," and she's like, "That's why what made it a good idea to sacrifice my arm for you because you're such a great person." When she leaves, she bumps into Barbara, who calls her Wonder Woman, and she's like, "Excuse me," and Barbara explains that the best of the Amazons is called Wonder Woman. She's like, "My name is Barbara Minerva, and there's books I have on the myth, but I don't believe it's a myth." And she's like, "Oh, I'll check out these books." And then this Wonder Woman flies up. She's like, "I'm in the books," and she's like, "I don't know what that means." um, so, uh, so Diana flies off to figure out to. So Diana flies off to face the Tetracide once again. So she's trying to figure out what she can do. She brings out this potion and is like, if I could just increase the effect, if I could do something physical, because it seems like her magic's not working. And then she has an idea. She goes to the newscasters who are still broadcasting this right now, which is crazy, and then tells them not to record her doing the magic because not everyone's earned the right to use magic or it can be trusted and it is sacred. And they're like, oh, that's fair. So after she does the magic, sets up the magic, she basically tells everybody to have hope and compassion, and that to stop them from, because the tetracyte's about to emit the sound, to stop them from getting affected by the sound, she's going to cast a citywide spell to make everybody deaf. And I was like, oh. And so she's like, Lena and Hope, Wonder Woman believes in you. So it's the first time she's claiming that title and also saying it. So now people will know her as Wonder Woman, because up until now, everyone's been calling her Diana. What's also interesting is I never really thought about how she got the name Wonder Woman in like other media. Because I know Batman motif, just like a bat, people see it. Batman, Superman, oh, Ubermensch. He's he's a Superman. Like it makes sense. Which I guess it's probably the same way for Diana, because a lot of the heroes aren't going around, unless it's Static Shock, where he's like, I'm Static Shock. A lot of superheroes aren't going around and being like, this is my name. It's sort of like, hey, there's this thing about them, and then there's this thing. But yeah, so the next issue is called next up. This is the Sound of Silence. So it's really interesting that she's now released a spell to protect everybody from the Tetracide, and she's saying, "Don't panic, just to lead on each other." Also, what's interesting is Barbara Minerva is the woman who she saw earlier is Cheetah. I'm not too familiar with Barbara Minerva. I've seen Cheetah in some different movies, and I know sometimes she's like Wonder Woman's main villain or one of them. She is this Wonder Woman villain. She's one of Wonder Woman's main villains. She was the main villain in the movie 1984. Not a good movie. But yeah, but anyways, this issue is pretty interesting. I actually realized something too, comparative. Um, the Absolute Batman issues do have different progress because he's doing different things. But both Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman, they're sort of still, at least, I mean, in issue 3, Superman is somewhere else. No, actually, sorry, issue 4, because issue 3 is all flashback. Um, but Diana's still in this beginning battle with whatever entities are coming out to gate into Gateway City. So it's interesting because I think it just handles the flashback transitions and the moments with her well, because there's a lot of character development, or there's a lot of more character revealing. Like we learn stuff about her, um, who she is, like a lot of backstory. That's done really well without being too much. Even though like we will slip away from the action, I'm never like, oh, get back over here, because I'm just interested in just reading the story. I think that's really done well by Kelly Thompson. Like just amazing. Also, the artwork by Hayden is also amazing. Um, they're doing a really good job. Excited for issue 4. Check out my other videos. See you.